And it's been another week. This week on PoPS, I have worked on doing some dialogue replacement, ADR style. Here's some footage of that. So this week we're going to be doing some ADR, next week as well actually, and how we're going to replace the dialogue is, if you will look in here, we have Soundtrack Pro, which we have a reference track on with all the snippets of audio that I need to replace. And then we are going to re-record over them using the boom mic that we use for the show into this USB mixer right here. And then we got two sets of headphones, one for the operator and one for the actor, who is going to be me this time, which run into a splitter into the headphone jack. So, pretty much good to go. One of the problems I have with overdubbing audio is it's very noticeable, mostly because it's done in a booth. So you can hear a very, very specific tonal change when it comes to replace dialogue. So what I want to do is recapture the feeling of being outside, because this is an outside scene. So we're going to travel to where we're going to record the audio. Now, through the kitchen. There we go. All right, so now I'm outside, and Eliza, who is operating the camera, is going to feed me the microphone through the window as she goes through, and she's going to operate for me. I know, that's crazy, right? I think I dropped that perfectly on top.
Let's find out. I won't even move it.
Catch me doing arm acting.
Where did it go? Where for two did it go?
This is candid stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta get it.
This is the reality.
Yeah.
Here's your line again. Cool?
Chicken fingers and summer vegetables.
Yeah. Ready?
Yep. Chicken fingers and summer vegetables.
Alright, dude, just so you know, there's going to be a little bit of overlap with your next line, so when you hear it in your headphones, just finish saying vegetables. We were going to do more ADR this week. 3 out of the 4 ADR sessions I had scheduled for this week had to reschedule. So those got pushed into this coming week. Maybe there'll be some footage from that next week. So on last week's update, I got a comment from FlixieRock107. And they said, "Hey Jake, could you maybe do a video about how you got into directing, editing, etc. I'm having an end of school life crisis moment, and I'd really like to be an editor or director or something like that as a career, so hearing your views on it would really help." And then Maze Runner 13 followed that up with, "Yes, please do. I have the same crisis and I want to be a director." So, all I can tell you about is the realizations that I've come to in terms of the video making industries in my 31 years. I don't make PoPS for a living. This doesn't support us. As many of you already know, I work for a couple of magazines here on the North Shore of Chicago, and like as part of my job, I do the web videos for the website, like behind the scenes of photo shoots and stuff. And I got that job because a friend of mine knew the publisher. So here, if you want to get into directing and editing as a career, here's my suggestion. I think the best way to go about it would not be to do what I have done. It would be to go to a film school, preferably one with a pretty good reputation, meet a lot of people, talk to your professors, and try and get contacts who have graduated from there, alumni from that school, for after you graduate. And then you can contact them, see if you can get internships, things like that. Start out as a PA, work your way up, work on your projects on the side, get to know people in the industry. More than any student film you make, more than any great film calling card, because you still have to get it in the right hands. Those right hands went to film school. They know the professors that you will have at film school. School is probably the route. I, as a teenager, you know, didn't want to do the whole work your way up the ladder. I wanted to do what Robert Rodriguez did. He made a movie and then he did this thing, you know? That's like winning the lottery of filmmaking. If you want to get into this for a living, you probably have to work your way up. Platoon of Power Squadron is not my living. If you want to do what I do, that's a totally different story. You don't have to go to film school to do that. All you need to do is have a camera and get an editing program, you know? Then you just write a script, shoot the script, edit the script together, and you have a movie. Then you put it up on YouTube. That's all, you know? Like, there's no big secret to it. You just have to keep on working on it until you get better. It just takes time. A lot of time spent alone. Like, anybody can do what I do. not a lot of people want to. It just is time consuming and it's hard. It's hard work getting everybody to get together. If you've tried to organize a party, you know, with a few people, now try and get it to where they're coming in to like spend their day off working on something that is ultimately a really boring task. You know, production is long and you need a lot of people to do it. And then you gotta find locations if you wanna do it on a bigger scale. It just takes a lot of time. Look at the time lapse of the writing process. That's the writing process. Look at the time lapse of directing, shot listing, making sure you know how you're gonna accomplish the shots that you want. These are just tiny sections of the hours upon hours it takes. Remember that video of me doing editing in VFX? That was a whole day, and that was like barely any of the episode, you know? And I'm not sitting here saying pity me for spending all this time on this, because I don't have to spend all this time on this if I didn't want to, you know? I keep coming back to it because this is what I love to do. All of the money that donors give to the show, I don't take any of that money. You know, it goes to cameras and all of the people who are donating their time. Now we have a pretty solid crew, like David and Chris and Tim and Ryan. They show up like all the time, you know? Like, sure, maybe they can't hit one shoot night here or there. I mean, it's amazing to have like a dedicated group of talented people around you that help you do this, you know? Just look at this last week. I had 4 ADR sessions scheduled and only one of them happen because people have lives, you know, and then I had to reschedule it. It just takes time, but if you end up liking what you've got, you know, it was all worthwhile, and that's why I keep doing it. So just do it. Pick up a camera and go after it, and you'll know pretty soon whether or not you want to do it. In terms of having an end of school life crisis, that's perfectly natural, and my advice to you is to get a job. I'm not talking about getting a career. I'm talking about finding something to do. Work in a bookstore while they still exist. A movie theater, do just something. You can work in an office if you want. Just get a job so that you aren't sitting around feeling like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Time is passing. I'm not doing it, you know? Get a job. That way you feel like you are contributing in some way to your own life. I had so many jobs, you know? I worked in a ton of different industries, doing a ton of different things. Did a lot of retail. Do not worry about it. You'll get where you're going. My advice to you is to get a job. Whether it's a career or not, get one. And also, just having a job, you'll really know whether or not you want to do this stuff. Because at the end of working at your job, if you still want to come home and work on video stuff, then video stuff is for you. Otherwise, start looking for something else. I will talk to you later. Get that job. See you next week.